So welcome to Open Space. I invite you to imagine and pretend that this circle that you see here is a bunch of seats, a bunch of chairs. And in those chairs, your conference colleagues are seated already, looking towards the center of the circle, waiting for things to happen. And there's things on the walls around you, such as butterflies and bumblebees and other diagrams. Imagine that you are seated in that circle, looking across the room, feeling the energy in the room, this dynamic energy of people coming together from perhaps around the world to talk and converse. I invite you to notice those people in this virtual room around you. Or if you're watching on video, imagine that you're connected to them. Look around this virtual circle. Look at each person as if you're seeing them for the first time, or perhaps you are seeing them for the first time. And recognize that they are wise and that the wisdom to work with our theme is in the room. If you've noticed the agenda for our conference on the calendar before you came here, you'll notice that it's pretty much blank. There's times and time slots and rooms available, virtual rooms, but there's no agenda. There's a time for gathering together and there's a time for breakouts, but there's no topics yet placed in the breakouts. You've been very trusting to come to such a strange meeting as this, but it is blank for a purpose. And in open space, it will maximize the creativity and wisdom that is in the space with us. It will maximize your creativity and wisdom. We will create an agenda together. It will be ready with everything you care to discuss relative to our theme. It will be complete because the wisdom is here to do this. I now invite you to take a breath. Fill your lungs to capacity and exhale and relax. Our movements will be like a breath. We will gather here in the circle like we are now in this collective circle, this imaginary, this virtual circle. Before our breakouts and after our breakouts to discuss what we've learned, to propose new topics, to share our passion and our wisdom in the collective circle. And we'll also break out into breakout spaces according to topics with which you have passion for. That out-breath is the breakout groups, and that in-breath is where we're coming together. And also that out-breath will be away from the conference, into your family time, into your dream time. And even there, you might get some inspirations and have some conversations and get some insights from your dreams to bring back into this conversation. The breath also symbolizes the movement between chaos and order. And in that movement, there is creativity. Let me draw your attention for a moment to the theme for this meeting. The theme is the context with which you were invited to this meeting. At the end of our time together, we will have discussed everything that we care to discuss relative to this theme, everything that you have passion for, if you care to bring it forth and post it in a topic and have a conversation. And within the time constraints we have here at this conference. Let me draw your attention to some of the givens or boundaries which go along with the theme that you should know about as you go forward into the conference. These sessions will be recorded and distributed. Everyone will get copies of the meeting reports. You'll be responsible for creating a document with the highlights of what is discussed in each of the breakout groups. And you will get copies of those meeting reports after the conference, and they'll be available for you during the conference to look at and reflect upon. I will do my best to help you resolve any technical issues that you may have in getting into this conference, into the breakout rooms. I've prepared a lot of information and links to make it as easy as possible for you to get there. But unfortunately, I can't resolve a lot of the technical problems that some participants may or may not have. I cannot resolve your local internet connection or your own computer issues. So I'll do my best to help you out, but I may not be able to do that. Participants are responsible for taking their ideas and actions forward into actions. You are responsible. If you get a great idea during this conference, then by all means, grab that idea, gather some resources around you, find some funding for those ideas, even co-create some ideas for funding of those ideas, and take it forward with yourself or with your colleagues here or others, people that you recruit into your cause, into your action. So how are we going to get there? How are we going to co-create an agenda in such a short time and bring everything together? Well, the process is called open space technology. And open space technology was developed over a period of time starting in 1985 by a man by the name of Harrison Owen. This process has been used worldwide countless times in themes of peace, in corporations, around creating product, in communities, in all kinds of situations, for all kinds of purposes. It has worked before and it will work here. Imagine 1,000 people coming together with a theme such as this, all in one room with no agenda for 2 or 3 days, co-creating that agenda together in the first hour, and then having those discussions, doing the work together, and having a document which documents everything that 1,000 people discussed, the highlights of those discussions, and having that available at the end of the conference. That's been done before. That's what's possible here. So how are we going to do this? Well, it's actually quite simple. In just a little while, I'm going to ask each of you that cares to, and nobody has to identify some issue or opportunity related to our theme for which you have a genuine passion and for which you're willing to take personal responsibility to introduce it as a topic here. Don't just think of any idea that somebody else might be interested in, but powerful ideas that really grab you to the point that you're willing to take personal responsibility to see that something gets done about working with it, discussing it, developing some knowledge together on that topic. If nothing occurs to you, that's okay. If you have more than one issue, that's also okay. Once you have your issue or opportunity in mind, you will click on a link and come to an agenda board that looks something like this. The agenda board will have the breakout times on the left-hand side of this table with the times in various time zones around the world. And then across to the right, there'll be different rooms, Zoom 1, Zoom 2, Zoom 3, with different links for different virtual rooms that you can go to and have a discussion. So once you have your topic in mind, you'll pick a short title for that topic, and you'll write it in the time and place that you'd like to have your meeting. Pick a time that you're going to be available in your time zone, energized, time that suits you. And you'll be inviting others to attend with you in that time later on. And they can write their names on the agenda board if they're interested in that topic and joining you in that conversation. So you'll write your title in there, your name under leader's name. You'll write a short description of your topic, and you will, once you've written it on the board, then you'll turn on your mic one at a time and announce your topic to the group and the breakout time and place you're going to have that. You can pick any time which you are available for, write your topic in there and announce it to the group. Now, Let me describe the responsibilities of anyone proposing a topic for discussion here in this conference during this open space technology session. So, as I've already said, your responsibility is to take that topic, designate a time and a place for it, which you will do on the agenda board. Your responsibility is to be in that breakout space at the time you've stated to open up the discussion on that topic. This is the topic for which you have passion for. You're inviting others to join you. So be in the space, the Zoom space, at the appropriate time to start off that conversation and lead that session through to the end of the breakout time. And finally, you're responsible for making sure that a meeting report gets done around that topic area. The highlights of the meeting, what actions, what resources you need, and I'll show you a document on what you'll be filling out according to what your meeting is. That might be a lot of notes, a short amount of notes, and you'll fill in that document as appropriate to your particular meeting. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to do all of these tasks, like actually write up the meeting report yourself. It may be that someone else in your group does the write-up. So if you're convening a topic, these are the responsibilities you have in leading that topic. Remember that no area of interest will be denied unless you don't post it. Put up as many topics as you want for which you have passion for and are willing to take responsibility. Once all of the topics have been presented and placed on the wall on their agenda board, once all the topics are out, this becomes our marketplace. This becomes all the choices that you can make about where you want to go during this conference. And we'll get an opportunity later on within our collective circles for the next sessions to add more topics to this until it's completely filled. And if it's completely filled, we can always add some more spaces. So this wall becomes the marketplace of all the work that we can do together. As you look through this marketplace later, you may find that some topics look identical or very similar to each other. And you may wish to combine them or negotiate with the other topic convener, the other proposer, and say, hey, maybe we should combine our topics. That's up to you. You can do that. But I encourage you to think twice about that, because very often when you propose a topic, you have a different angle on it, a different direction that you want to go. And if you combine it with someone else, you may find that they have a very different topic in mind than what you proposed. But you may do so. You may combine them if you wish. Remember that it is the session leader's responsibility to show up for the topic that they've posted. If there are conflicts about where you want to go, if you have another topic that you feel you need to be in, and you've already got something posted by yourself in that time, then you may want to shuffle things around. Move your meeting to a different breakout time, or negotiate with the person convening that other meeting that they move to a different time so that you can both attend a particular meeting, or you can attend both yours and the other. The wisdom is in the group, and the wisdom is within the market. You, as a group, will do what you need to do to resolve any agenda conflicts or other issues that arise. That's up to you. Once all of the agenda is created and you've had breakout groups completed, then you'll also be able to come back here and find the links for the documents that were completed, the reports that are completed, and read those reports online whenever those are completed. So I invite you to do that at some point in time. Read the reports of previous breakout times if you have time and energy and passion for those particular topics. So that's a brief explanation of the process of how we're going to get to the agenda. And there's a couple more additions. There's also going to be an opening of each session and a closing of each session. These half-hour sessions before and after each session, Sandwiching the breakout times will be opportunities for us all to come together as a group, share what we've learned in our breakout times or in our dream times, share that news with each other, our inspiration, what we're learning, where we're going, and also an opportunity to introduce more breakout topics should you want to go deeper within a certain area or get inspired around another topic. When we have multiple day sessions, that tends to happen, that it even goes deeper the next day with some richer topics based on what was discussed in the first day. So I invite you to do that and come to the session openings and closings, which sandwich these breakout times. On the last day, in the last session, we will have a closing circle for the entire conference. Here is an example of a report that you'll be filling out in your breakout groups. The topic, participants' names, recorders' names, highlights of the discussion, and that's this document in Google Docs will be expandable, so you can write as much as you want in each of these boxes as you care to highlight the discussions that you had and create multiple actions if you have them in your breakout groups. Now, before we get to work, let me tell you about the rules for open space technology. There are 4 principles and 1 law which will govern how we meet together. The 4 principles are: whoever comes is the right people, whatever happens is the only thing that could have, whenever it starts is the right time, and when it's over, it's over. That sounds rather strange, and what's the butterfly and the bumblebee about? Well, let me tell you a little bit more. Whoever comes is the right people. Very often in meetings, we're thinking we need someone else who has all the knowledge, the expertise. But in this process, it's about whoever has the passion, has the wisdom to proceed. You are the leader. You have passion around the topic. If you're the only person that comes to your breakout session, trust that. You at least have the question, and within that question, there is wisdom. So sit, contemplate, write up a report all by yourself if you're the only person in the room. Don't wait on other people to come. Maybe someone else is busy in another room. Maybe it's not the right time and place for them to come to your meeting. They've got another one with which they have energy for. Do not be concerned about that. You are there, so you are the right person. When we follow this principle and we take responsibility for our energy and our wisdom, magic can happen. And very often, that person who sits by themselves in that breakout space and develops some ideas becomes the most important topic of an entire conference. That's happened many, many times. Whatever happens is the only thing that could have. That invites us to let go of outcome for this conference or for your breakout group. Whatever is meant to happen will happen. It's the only thing that could have. When people are gathered, something else might emerge. You might be thinking that your topic's going to go in one direction and really want to discover one segment of where you're going. Yet the group may take you in a totally new direction, and that might take you all out of a box that you've been in. Some new inspiration, some new ideas. Whenever it starts is the right time. We cannot control when creativity is going to happen. We cannot control when people are going to enter your breakout space, your room. Some people may come late. That might be because of technology or something else distracts them. That's always possible. Life gets in the way. Creativity will happen in the right moment. If you each show up in your passion, when you attend, show up, be present within your space, have the conversation. It will start at the right time, and that great idea will emerge at the right time. Sometimes it all just consolidates right at the end of that hour. It happens at the right time. Maybe it even starts later as you reflect on what happened at the conference. Then the creativity, the idea, the breakthrough happens. Whenever it starts is the right time. When it's over, it's over. The fourth principle. And the corollary of that is when it's not over, it's not over. If you go into a meeting space and we've allotted an hour and everything emerges in the 15 minutes, the first 15 minutes, then quit the meeting. There's no sense in continuing. If you've come to the conclusion that you've wanted to come to, you feel that the energy is not there, then end the meeting. You don't have to spend an hour there. You don't have to continue on. And if you're solving the world's problems, continue on. Find another time and space where you can really go deep into the creation and action and planning of that concept or idea. Go for it. With all your heart and all your passion, continue on. When it's over, it's over. And when it's not over, it's not over. There is one law within open space technology, and we call it the law of 2 feet, or the law of mobility. This is about movement. This is about your energy. Your energy is important. If you don't have energy to go to any breakout sessions at a certain time, then don't. Go for a walk. Go smell the roses outside. Reflect on the conference. Develop some ideas in that reflection time. That's okay. If you're in a meeting with some others and it starts off really good and juicy for you, and then suddenly you feel like you're being called to another meeting that's happening at the same time in another space, then by all means, end that meeting for yourself and go to the next meeting. Unless you're the topic leader, and in this case, you'll have to make sure that someone's taking responsibility for you to complete that session as you go to the other one. So just arrange with someone else to make sure that your responsibilities get complete. But by all means, each of you can find the right time and space to be in according to your energy. And when you follow your energy and your passion, then magic happens. Even if you're the last person in a room of some breakout room and you're being called to another meeting, or you want to be in another place and you feel like you don't want to leave that person all alone, that's up to you. You can stay there, or you can follow your energy and leave the room and be where you need to be. And you're invited to look at the law of 2 feet and follow your energy. With these 4 principles and this one law of 2 feet, there's a couple of interesting behaviors that tend to happen in open space technology, and we call them bumblebees and butterflies. The bumblebees are those participants that kind of pollinate throughout the conference. They might drop into your online breakout group and they might sit and listen and add some ideas and really be energized and pollinating some ideas there. And then suddenly they're feeling like they want to get off to another meeting and they say goodbye and go and pop into another meeting that's happening at the same time. And when they come into the other meeting, they may take some ideas across from that first meeting into the next. And they may pop even into a third or back again to another one they've been in. This particular behavior is okay. You're following your energy. You're following the law of 2 feet. You're going where you need to be. Trust that. These pollinators will help our conference expand and grow into something that it couldn't without these pollinators. And you may find that you're in this energy sometimes and sometimes not. There's also butterflies. That's another behavior. The butterflies fly into your meeting room perhaps, sit back, observe the meeting, listen, be present in the meeting, but don't say a word. They just sit back and look beautiful. That's okay too. They're contributing with their energy. They don't need to be saying anything. Even being there with their presence will affect the group in some way. Trust that behavior. The butterfly may choose to butterfly outside the conference altogether. They may come back to this main meeting area and just sit there and wait for everybody else to show up in the community space. Well, I could talk about open space technology all day, and people have talked about these principles and this law and how it affects them for years and years and years. And it's time for us to get to work. It's time for us to build the agenda. So I'm going to invite you to sit back and reflect, maybe with a piece of paper. What would you like to get out of this conference? What topics are important for you? What questions are important for you? Topics for which you have genuine passion for and want to see a discussion here in this conference about, and want to lead that session and take responsibility for that session. Once you have your topic, in a few moments, we'll give you a space to write that short title down, write your name down as the leader of that session, a short description of that topic on the agenda board. So you'll be choosing the time and the space where you're going to lead your meeting. The board is now open for your topics. And when you've written your topic on the board, just turn on your mic and one at a time, announce your topic, your name, brief description of what you want to talk about to invite others to attend with you. The agenda board is open.